Jersey Morning Show. I'm Christina Bear.
And I'm Cara DeFalco. And let's get started with a check of that forecast with meteorologist Mike Favetta. Mike, it happened. That snow, it started.
It did. You saw the flakes earlier
I
this
did.
week. Everybody was talking about it. Got people kind of excited, in the mood, the holiday
Yes.
spirit.
Yeah.
Maybe some, maybe no. Hey, you get to break out all the winter recipes, Cara's Cucina, right?
This is true.
Okay. I'm myself cramming a little pasta fagioli. So
That's a good one.
you're in the
Okay,
mood,
we can make that happen.
something like that, some warm stew, because
Yes.
it's been cold every morning. It stays cold every afternoon. At least we get some sunshine around this weekend, and that's some good news, especially with highs that will climb back into the 50s. We'll get to that part of the forecast in just a bit. It was cold earlier this week. 27 degrees is what we woke up to on Wednesday morning. Haven't had a temperature that cold since March of 2023. So it's been a while with this very chilly weather. Now, going into the afternoons this weekend, there is plenty of sunshine mixed with a few clouds, and there might even be a spot sprinkle on Sunday afternoon. But otherwise, temperatures may get back up into the low 50s. 51, for instance, over in Sussex, 57 in Newark, 56 in Seabright. With a little bit of a breeze, it might feel a touch cooler, but actually, fun fact, you have to have a temperature below 50 degrees in order to calculate a wind chill. So even if it's windy, technically, there won't be a wind chill. Decent weather for decorating the outdoors in Belmar, 56 for you, 54 in Trenton, and 55 in Atlantic City. Now, with more cold weather on the way, I think we will see a chance of, some sub-freezing temperatures yet again. That could happen by the middle of next week. We'll break that down for you with another check of your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Cara, Christina?
Thanks, Mike. Well, what better way to warm up than perhaps with a nice cocktail?
Yeah.
So joining us now is local New Jersey ethnobotanist and mixologist Danny Childs. Danny is here to give us some tips on how to make seasonal, botanically inspired beverages from his new book, Slow Drinks. Hey, Danny, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, so the first question is, what exactly does an ethnobotanist do? What is that?
So an ethnobotanist studies the relationship between people and the plants that grow around them. And so this can be for food, it can be for medicine, material culture, and of course, beverages.
That's really cool.
That's very cool. And I love that you titled your book Slow Drinks, because I'm guessing that's off of the slow food movement as well that's around the planet. Very cool. So what inspired you to get into this field?
So like many hospitality people, it was always sort of a job that I did to have money in my pocket, right? And as I'm going through school and I'm serving at restaurants and bartending, I'm also being trained to look at the relationship between people and plants critically. And if you think about a bar, every ingredient behind the bar starts with some botanical ingredient or a mix of them. And so I kind of started to connect the dots and think, well, there's a lot that grows around me. There's a lot that I was growing, in a garden. And I was working with farms at the time. So I began to kind of go down this path of creating botanically inspired cocktails.
So what goes into foraging for these ingredients, and what are some of the perks of using them in your drinks?
So what goes into it? Certainly knowing what you're looking for and knowing what not to consume. That is definitely something to keep in mind. It's everything, I would say, definitely depends on the time of year. So like Mike was just saying, it's pretty cold out. There's not a ton growing out in the forest right now. But where there is things growing are in places like the Pine Barrens, where you can find all kinds of evergreens and hardy ingredients like that. So what it offers flavors and different aromas and all that type of thing that you're just not really used to seeing in drinks or food.
Danny, it's so funny that you specifically mentioned the evergreens, because I know my family in Italy, the region of Italy that they're from, they actually have a liqueur that's made from pine, and it tastes like you're drinking the forest. I mean,
Wow.
It's incredible.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit about your locavore inspired bar program, and what is that, and where can people find it?
Yeah, so for up until about 2 months ago, I worked at the Farm and Fisherman in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And when the book came out, I went out on my own and began to do slow drinks consulting to basically teach other programs, farms, bars, restaurants, how to make botanically inspired cocktails that that tell the story of their restaurant and their ethos. And so, yeah, we built a really, really special program at Farm, and they're still going forward with it. At this point, I'm now working with concepts as different as a Malaysian restaurant and a Mexican restaurant, and using the ingredients around here and that partnering with local farms to tell the stories of their cultures and make drinks that do the same. Going back to your Italian pine forest liqueur, I have a great example of this Pine Barrens Amaro that I make here that certainly tastes exactly like the forest, as you said. And so this has white pine, juniper, cedar, birch bark, staghorn sumac, and hardy orange peels, which is a citrus variety that grows around here. And I let it sit. I let the botanicals sit in this spirit for about 5 weeks.
Wow.
And then I strain it, dilute it, and sweeten it with maple syrup for a final product that looks kind of similar to this little elixir here. And it is such a snapshot of the forest. So I'm so glad that you said that.
Yeah, you're set up for a drink for us too. What are you going to make and what goes into it?
I'm going to make the Pine Barrens cocktail. Obviously an homage to our ecosystem here all along the New Jersey coast. And what goes into it, we've got some gin. I like a London dry gin for this. So I've got Tanqueray here. Cranberry jam made from Pine Barrens wild cranberries. Pine Barrens Amaro, and a little bit of lime juice. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix that up.
Yes, please.
So we've got 1.5 ounces of gin here. A 1/2 ounce of Amaro.
Danny, while
That's
you're
the
mixing,
core.
can you also explain to folks what Amaro, I feel like Amaro is kind of one of those specialty liqueurs that maybe people aren't as familiar with as gin per se.
Certainly. As I do so, I'm going to grab a spoon from my drawer here. So Amaro is, it's the Italian word for bitter. And it's such a wide-spanning category of spirits that can include things as different as rhubarb Amaro, there's truffle Amaro, there's Campari and Aperol are both Amari. This category is an Alpine Amaro, which comes from the Alpine region of France and Italy mostly, Switzerland as well a little bit. And what certain things are defined by certain botanical ingredients. The Alpine category is really vague. Basically, they say Alpine herbs, but oftentimes the flavor profile associated with them is spice, like pine spice.
Pine, yeah.
And Alpine coming from the word for pine. So, yeah, this is that. I mean, it tastes like a Christmas tree, kind of.
Ooh,
I love it.
that's perfect for this time of year.
I've got 3/4 ounce of lime that'll add a little bit of acidity in the drink, and then we'll do 2 tablespoons of cranberry jam. Jam's an often underutilized cocktail ingredient, in my opinion, but it adds really nice sweetness, acidity in this case from the cranberries, but it also has a lot of body and texture. So I'm just gonna have my glass ready here.
Just shake it up. And so where can people learn more about you and your recipes as well if they want to give this a try on their own?
So definitely the book. All of the secrets are in the book. Every ingredient. Amaro recipes are often very closely guarded, but they're all out there now. And then following me on Instagram at Slow Drinks is another great way.
Slow drinks.
Slow drinks. Look
Love
at the
it.
color on that bad
Ooh.
boy. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
That is perfect for a holiday party.
It
too.
really is.
Very festive.
Now I'm rethinking. I have a party coming up in the next few weeks, and I'm rethinking. I'm like, oh, now I'm gonna have to go rethink my cocktail.
And then you could say it's from the forest.
It's yes.
It's local.
I don't have enough time to make the Amaro. I'm gonna have to find some somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. A great substitute is Braulio Amaro, an Italian Amaro, Alpine style, tastes like Christmas trees as well.
Cool.
Finally, we got our garnish. It is a little wild juniper that grows in the Pine Barrens, and we'll just tuck that in there. And
Gorgeous.
we've got our
Festive.
Pine Barrens cocktail. Yeah.
Salud. Danny Childs,
Amazing.
thanks so much for spending some time with us this morning and teaching us something. Again, the book is Slow Drinks. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.
Cheers.
We need samples next time.
I know, right? I was like, now I'm thirsty.
looks
The
really
two of us were
good.
like, please.
Yeah, I want to taste some Christmas trees. It looks really good.
It looks amazing.
Hey, you can watch On New Jersey anytime on your Roku or Fire TV, and of course on any device at onandj.com.